All right, it is time for Aaron's college football games of the week. How did you do last week, Aaron, with the picks and the locks you gave us? Because I did not, I did keep track. I just don't have it in front of me.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, last week I gave you 13 games plus a bonus, which was
Yeah.
your UCLA team, which did cover. I told
Oh,
you
I
they cover.
actually I do have it because you had three locks. You had the ASU and
Oh, the
TCU,
locks. The locks were
which
yeah, that was a
okay,
push.
the USC and Illinois,
Yeah, well,
which did hit,
yeah, Jason wasn't
but
here for
Jason took
that
the
one.
opposite. And then Penn State, Oregon. I don't know what you had on that one actually. You had Penn State minus 3.5.
Yeah, I think I had Penn State in that one.
Ah, that was a close one, but that was tough.
I think I had Ole Miss in there as well, but I could be wrong.
You had Ole Miss minus 1.5.
Yeah.
You had that as game of the week.
Okay. That
Yeah.
makes a little sense. I remember. So last week's games went 7 wins, 6 losses, 1 push.
Whew.
So it was a winning week. I mean, we started out really hot, kind of cooled down with Penn State and Georgia shit in the bed there late.
You did
night.
call the Pittsburgh upset though, huh?
Pittsburgh came back and lost that game. They gave that game away, dude. They were up 17-0 in the first quarter.
Dude.
I'm not even gonna go into that coach. That coach, I mean, speaking of coaches that need to get shit canned, that guy.
Oh, do you remember what your bonus game of the week was?
UCLA, man.
Yeah, how'd that go?
They covered. Like I said. They were down 17-0, but came back and lost 17-14.
Yeah, I was watching the game, man. I was watching it. It was brutal.
UCLA plus 6, man. Covered.
They're playing Penn State this week in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, that's I'm not touching that one.
I'm thinking about taking my daughter to a Cal game this weekend on Saturday. Tickets in the end zone, like 10 rows up, $35.
I think it's gonna be a good game, Rome.
Yeah?
That's gonna be a bonus. I think it's gonna be a bonus play out. I'm just hold out for that one.
Should I take her to a college game? I don't know how college games are. I haven't been to one obviously since UCLA used to sell out the Rose Bowl because now it's different. So
what year was that?
It was just like this is like 6 years ago, most recently. That's why it's like it blows my mind that like it's so dire right now. It's like what? I was just there.
Rome was talking about going to was it Nebraska, UCLA? I told them, dude, you don't even buy a ticket. Just walk
let's go, guys. Let's go. The whole pod. I'll do a last minute ditch effort to try to get some media passes or something.
We don't need media passes. We just walk in. They'll let you walk into the Rose Bowl without it. They'd say like it's open seating, first come first serve, where you can go. I think they just give the tickets away. Rob. I think you just go in.
Yeah,
and say,
I think you can just print your own media pass and you're in. Yeah. You can say whatever label you want, and hey, we're happy to have you here and covering the game.
I think Rome, I can't pull it off, but I think you can get like the old kind of schoolboy hat with a little media like cardboard thing on the slit on the side, where it says like media just on the top. You could probably get one of those and go through. They'd be all right with it. You know what I'm talking about? Old school like 1920s reporter or something.
No, yeah.
Exactly.
I'm here at the UCLA football game, huh?
100%. Wait, at what point is UCLA going to be considered to be relegation out of the Big Ten at this point, man? You're 0-4. You've only scored 57 points the entire season.
Dude, this has been pretty embarrassing. But like USC fans are not too far behind because they were ragging on the team on social this past week. Like we traded this, like UCLA and USC just ripped apart the Pac-12 to just have these fucking seasons, these seasons of mediocrity. Like either the Pac-12 was really bad or it's just a down year for everyone that used to be in the Pac-12.
Well, no, because Oregon came in and was just fine, bro.
So. Oregon's the only consistent one. Oregon's the only one that's like
Oregon's been good in the Pac-12 for a while. I mean, they're the only team to represent the Pac-12 in the playoff, right? The college football playoff.
Just not winning, yeah. All right.
Shit, since USC last made it there against Texas, is that the last time another team outside of Oregon was in the playoff in the Pac-12?
Sounds about
20
right.
years?
Yeah. Well, no, Washington.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, they got blown out. Yeah. All right, Aaron.
Washington did it twice, so yeah.
So this is your smallest list. You can see the imprint from last week where we had a season high 13 games. 14
yeah,
games
I didn't put a lot of games in there, Rome. So maybe I got more than one bonus game this week. Maybe.
Okay, cool. Maybe. And there's these are all Saturday games, no Friday games?
Correct. The Friday games.
So this is the first time this year that we are not featuring a Friday game.
A lot of League
a lot
of
of
Five.
garbage on Friday
Yeah, I was
night.
gonna say. I want to say like New Mexico State, San Jose State, Colorado State, San Diego State. It's like the Mountain West special, or the American Football Conference too. But
Yeah, I guess the old Mountain West soon to be Pac-12, right, or whatever these guys are
The
going.
new Pac-12, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a lot of bad games on Friday night, Rome. I mean, I don't care to watch any of them, so I'm
right.
not gonna put the audience through it.
All right,
be
we'll
honest
take
with
it
you.
away then. These are Aaron's 8 games to watch this weekend, starting off with Iowa State against Cincinnati. Take it away, Aaron.
Rome, I know you love Iowa State. I mean,
do.
it might be one of your picks, but I'm hoping to change your opinion on that because I like Cincinnati here. I watched them last week against Kansas, who I had in the contest for us,
Right.
and they looked really, really good. I mean, I watched that game. Kansas is a solid football team, played Missouri tough. Cincinnati's only loss was a 3-point defeat to Nebraska, the opening game of the year. Iowa State's undefeated. Going on the road here, I like Cincinnati. Their quarterback and their offense is really explosive. Iowa State struggles to score the ball. I think Cincinnati wins this game. That's why they're a slight favorite. I like Cincinnati to cover here.
Is that how you spell Cincinnati?
You could double check, triple check. I hope.
What's wrong. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I was actually looking at that when you sent in the spreads for the Westgate Super Contest, and I haven't seen anything of Cincinnati yet this year, so I don't know whether to pick it or not.
I've been impressed with them. I watched a little bit of the opener against Nebraska, and I watched a lot of the game last week against Kansas. I don't know what Kansas was doing defensively. Just terrible defensive game plan really cost us there.
Yeah.
But I was impressed by Cincinnati, so they'll probably be part of my own personal 7 this week in my own Westgate. So I like Cincinnati here to cover the 1.5 at home and get the victory.
Wow. Okay. Next game.
Virginia +7 against Louisville. Virginia, Rome coming off the huge upset win at home against Florida State last Friday. Louisville coming off a come from behind victory at Pittsburgh. They were down 17-0 in that first quarter. Pittsburgh's coach, with his decision making, kind of gave that game away, plus turnovers. I think they had 2 turnovers, 3 errors in the special teams. It's amazing Pittsburgh didn't win that game. Damn shame, I'll tell you that. Virginia, not a very good team defensively, good offensively. Louisville, kind of up and down offensively, what they can do. Kind of surprised to see Virginia getting 7 points here.
That's a lot.
Seems like a lot. I'm going to ride with them. If you don't get pressure on the quarterback, they're a tough team to stop. I mean, Florida State did not get a lot of pressure on the QB. He had a nice game running the ball and throwing the ball. If Louisville doesn't get pressure on them, Virginia can score. I think they have one of the top 5-10 offenses in college football together, averaging almost 40 points a game, over 40 to be exact. I like Virginia +7 here.
Wow, Virginia's number 24. I thought Louisville would be ranked.
Louisville's got to be ranked, right?
No.
Are you sure?
They should be. I think they're actually pretty decent.
They haven't beaten anyone. They've beaten Eastern Kentucky, James Madison, Bowling Green, and then Pitt was their biggest victory. So
no love. So Louisville's not in the top 25.
They beat Virginia, they will be ranked.
Yeah. I actually think if Cincinnati pulls it off, that's a pretty decent upset over Iowa State. Iowa State's number 14 in the country right now. That's a surprising line.
I think Cincinnati wins that game and probably sneaks into the polls next week at 23-24.
Okay, cool. So Virginia takes care of business against Louisville, which you were up on
covers.
Louisville.
At least covers.
Okay. Next game.
I think this is one of the more interesting games of the week. I'd like to get your guys' take on it. Texas, 7-point favorite going into Florida. We mentioned in the first segment, Billy Napier on the hot seat. Both teams coming in with a bye week. I'm putting Texas on upset alert. I think Billy Napier is going to throw everything he's got into this game. His job is on the line. This is a must-win for him. He calls the plays. He's offensive coordinator. This is a really, really good defense. I think it's going to be a low-scoring, grinded-out game. I like Florida to cover the 7 points. And I'm tempted to take Florida to win outright. I mean, it's as crazy as it sounds. I haven't been impressed with Texas. I mean, I know they beat Sam Houston State, but come on. I mean, even we could beat Sam Houston State, guys. We could put together a group of 50 guys that could beat those dudes. I think Florida's going to get up for this game because I would like to get you guys' take. I think Billy Napier knows this is win or go home for him, really. I mean, it is win or pack your bags and get out of Gainesville, because this is a must win, or at least keep it very, very competitive to save his job, given what we're seeing in the college football landscape.
I agree with you, Aaron. I don't know if you go full upset alert, but I think it's more competitive, and I don't know if Texas has shown enough offensively when they've played. I mean, I guess their only one real test so far this year was Ohio State, but I think there's a ton more questions on Arch Manning and what he's able to do. Florida does have like athletes; they got guys, and I think there's never been a question of recruiting with them, but they've always just seemed to be missing some portion of it. I do think Florida gets up. I would take Florida with the points too. I don't think they upset them, but I think the game's closer than what Texas is getting.
This is fucking crazy talk here. So like Florida, I don't think their losses have been too crazy, right? They beat out a nobody in week 1. They lost a close one against South Florida, but they were ranked very shortly. That was a really good game. They lost a good game against LSU, and people were talking shit on LSU, like how they should have won more, or they didn't do enough, or Florida had a chance to still pull that out of their ass. And then they play a really tough Miami team, which people are taking the spread on that one too. It's just been a tough schedule so far. I know they're 1-3, but that's a tough 1-3.
It only gets
yeah.
tough. It only gets tougher. They might have the toughest schedule in college football.
It's a tough one.
I mean, they're gonna have Texas A&M after this. 2 weeks they get Georgia. They end in Ole Miss, Tennessee, Florida State. Like, Texas doesn't get this type of schedule in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, the Florida schedule is brutal. I mean, that South Florida loss was tough. You mentioned Rome. They played LSU tough. 5 turnovers was the difference there. Miami, they were down 13-7 midway through the third quarter. Like Jason said, they've got athletes. They've got dogs. They just haven't executed at a high level. I think coming off the bye week helps them execute a little bit better. I like them here +7. And, Gainesville is just another place. I mean, Texas has not really traveled anywhere in the SEC to play anybody outside of Kyle Field last year with Texas A&M. 100,000 screaming fans. This is going to be a tough game for Texas and Arch Manning.
I know I like Texas, but I don't even know how good Texas is yet. This is a stay away from me. I would not touch this with a 10-foot pole.
This feels a lot. I think Jason said this feels a lot like USC Illinois, where it's like, one team's feeling good, the other team's looking like not so good. I think Florida gets up for this game.
I don't think either team's feeling good. I don't think either team's feeling good.
I think if you're Florida, you get a bye week and you don't lose a game, you're feeling good to me, the way they've been going.
Cool. Next game.
The game of the year in the ACC, no doubt about it. This is the game right here, Miami, Florida State. Miami coming off a bye week. Rome, you mentioned they've coming off big wins against Notre Dame already this year. South Florida, they've blown them out. I mean, Miami's blowing out everybody, really, except for Notre Dame, which they were up, 2 scores there. Florida State beat Alabama, took it to them in week 1, played 2 cupcakes in the next 2 games, lost a tough one at Virginia. I like Florida State to cover here. I'm going to say this. I think Miami wins a 1 or 2 point game. Florida State covers. So I like the Seminoles here. +4.5. I'll say the final score is 28-27. Lean towards Miami slightly winning this game. Florida State's definitely going to cover this one. Maybe just wins it outright as well.
Okay.
Another big game here, Rome. Vanderbilt. I saw your boy from Vanderbilt, Pavia, said, hey, if we play our game, it won't even be close. So he's already given bulletin board material to Alabama after upsetting them last year. Oh, man, 10.5 points is a lot here. Vanderbilt's not a bad football team, but I don't know if they can stop Alabama. I'm not sure if Alabama can stop them either. I mean, the over 55.5 looks pretty good. I like over 55.5. I think what Pavia said about, we play our game, this won't be close. I think Alabama's going to get up for this game. I'm going to take Alabama 10.5 here. I like your take on this. Yeah, I think that, bulletin board material, they got this game circled. It's not every year you hear Alabama got Vanderbilt circled on their schedule.
Isn't Vanderbilt better than last year, though?
I do think they are, yes. I think Alabama's better, too, though, right now.
They look good. The last few weeks have turned my opinion around on them. But 10.5, though, this feels more like a touchdown, maybe a field goal type of game. You think it's
Yeah,
just a ass whip in a return?
I don't think it's an ass whooping. I think it's going to be a close game. So that's what's scaring it off to me. Where like I do think Alabama wins the game, but again, 10.5 points is quite a lot of bit for a Vanderbilt team that they can score, they can get up and down the field, and for Alabama, like they've kept most of these like opponents like you know pretty low scoring. And obviously, it was a good Georgia team, but that Florida State team kind of got up and down with them. I don't know. To me, it's a close game, and I think 10 points is just too much.
Yeah, I mean, 10.5. I mean, Vanderbilt, what their biggest wins? South Carolina this year. Alabama's really battle tested. I just feel like Vanderbilt's going to turn the ball over a few times. I like Alabama here in a high scoring game, 44-27. I think it's a high scoring game. I feel real comfortable in the over 55.5, 44-27. I think Alabama can score. Vanderbilt, you guys mentioned, could score. I think the difference is Vanderbilt just turns the ball over a couple times more, leading to quick scores for Alabama. I'm going to take Alabama 10.5 here.
Okay. All right. Next.
Texas Tech against Houston. Houston coming off overtime win Friday against an 0-5 Oregon State team. Texas Tech coming off a bye week after beating Jason's West Coast Utah Utes. I like Texas Tech minus 11. I think they're the real deal. That defense is legit. They got even the backup quarterback's really good. And Houston, to me, hasn't really played anybody. Their biggest wins of the year are really against Oregon State 0-5 and Colorado. That's 2-3. I like Texas Tech here minus 11 to get the job done against Houston.
All right.
Big game here. I'm curious to see what Jason likes on the side before I really get on it. I'm kind of split here, but you got Boise State at 20.5 point underdog going into South Bend to take on Notre Dame. Jason, who you got? Who you got covering the spread here? Because this is a lot of points, 20.5 against a Boise State team that's regrouped from that week 1 loss against South Florida.
Yeah, I know you were. I knew you were going to come to me on this one, Aaron. I don't have any sort of feeling like I did a week ago against Arkansas, because if you would ask me in week 1, I'm like, man, Notre Dame's really going to put it to this Boise State team that couldn't get more than 7 points or whatever in that first tilt. It's just too many for a Notre Dame defense that is clearly not as good as it was last year. And I don't know if it's just, if it's Al Golden. Obviously, you lost guys to the NFL like Xavier Watts and other people on that Notre Dame defense, but every team for the most part has been able to get up and down on this Notre Dame defense, where a year ago I would have said that was detrimental to Notre Dame's chances, because the defense is what kept them in a ton of those games with, just waiting for Riley Leonard to run around. I think that's just too many points. I would probably take, I think Notre Dame wins the game, but I would take Boise State 20.5 if you're telling me to play it.
So if you guys are looking at these games, Boise has not done much against the only really good team that they played was South Florida. Other than that, though,
yeah, they haven't. I just feel like if this was last year's Notre Dame defense, I would be much more confident with this year's Notre Dame offense to cover that spread.
yeah,
But they have been exposed to many teams so far. Like even early in that Arkansas game, it was never really close. But I mean, they were getting the ball up and down. Texas A&M went up and down. Miami obviously did too. I think there's just too big of a window for this to be, hey, Notre Dame wins by 14 or something like that, where it's there like 20.5 just seems like a ton of points they'd have to overcome in this game to me.
I agree. I lean towards Boise State here covering the 20.5 too. I think regardless if Notre Dame jumps up 21, 28 points, I think Boise State can score. Boise State can get 20 points in this game. I feel like Notre Dame probably gets 37. So I'm leaning towards a 37-20 Notre Dame victory here. I would take the 20.5. This defense has given up points. So that's in Boise State. Rome, you said they scored 7 against South Florida. South Florida, that's a good defense. They played against some bad teams, but I think they built some confidence offensively. They're averaging, almost nearly 50 points here, it looks like, in the last 3 games. So I feel like they can get 20 points against Notre Dame, and Notre Dame basically gets 35, 40. In order for Notre Dame really to cover a game like this, they can't turn the ball over and they have to force turnovers. They got to play nearly perfect. I mean, 3 touchdowns is a lot against a Boise State team that was considered, as of the group of 5, top team preseason for the playoff. After that loss to South Florida, that kind of diminished. But
Yeah.
Boise State's got some talent. They've been in some big games. They performed well against big-time opponents before. I'll say Notre Dame wins here, like I said, 37-20. I'll take 20.5 points of Boise State.
37-20. All right. Your last game of the week.
Last game, Rome, is Mississippi State against Texas A&M. I know you're a Texas A&M hater, Rome, maybe because I like them and you like Texas. I don't know. Maybe that's where the feud comes in. But Mississippi State is, they've had some good games this year. I mean, they're coming off of the 7-point loss in overtime to Tennessee. Beat Arizona State earlier in the year. We called that upset. 14 points. Yeah. 14 points is a lot here. I'm worried because this is the first real game for Mississippi State on the road. So with that being said, I'm going A&M here minus 14. I just don't trust Mississippi State in the first big game on the road. A&M has looked good, has a favorable schedule going forward now that they've gotten past Notre Dame. They got Florida coming up, who, like we mentioned, could have a replacement coach by the time they meet up. A&M's rolling right now. This is a spot where I think Elko gets that defense fired up going. I like Texas A&M minus 14 to take care of business against Mississippi State.
It's a lot of points, but I do agree with Aaron on this one. And I think Aaron's point about this being really the first road test for Mississippi State, at home, tough game against Tennessee, who's a pretty good team last week, lose by 7, but they did have the advantage at home. Were able to get some points up and down. And that the Arizona State game that they had at home earlier in the year, super close game. I think this Texas A&M team is obviously the best opponent that Mississippi State has played so far. And I think, it's a tough place to play at Texas A&M. And I think that comes into a little more, turning the ball over. A couple things happen like that. It turns it into more than a two possession game. And I take Texas A&M. Well, I agree with Aaron on this.
And it's a night game too. So that makes it even a little more difficult too at A&M. 110,000 screaming fans. I think Mississippi State is going to be in over the head in this game. Like I said, I like A&M.
All right. Got any bonus coverage for us, or you want to give us your locks of the week?
Ooh, locks of the week.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, man. So I'll put Cincinnati in there against Iowa State.
Okay.
Give me Florida State as a lock, 4.5 against Miami. I'm going to take the Florida Gators as well, +7.
Wow.
I'm gonna back Billy Napier. Let's see if he lets me down. If he does, then he can hit the hay, get out of town. I'll back him here. That's my 3 games. I really like A&M minus 14 too.
I'm not so much on that A&M pick, but all right. So you got Cincinnati minus 1.5, Florida +7, and Florida State +4.5 against Miami.
Yeah.
You got Florida State winning that, or you got Miami still winning that in a close one? You gave me the score 28-27, but
I think Miami wins by a point.
All right, got it. Awesome. Any bonus games?
Bonus games for you, Rome. You mentioned you might be going to Duke versus Cal.
Yeah.
Cal's getting 3 points here. Cal's going to win outright. They're going to win this game. I mean, I've been high on Cal all year, and as soon as I really, really got high on them, they laid that 34-0 egg against. I can't even remember.
It sucks because I had your undefeated little clip for Cal, or that one or 2 loss, and I was gonna post it, and then
they laid that. Against San Diego State. Oh my god, I can't believe that, dude.
And I was like, all right, maybe I'll probably still post it, but maybe after another win or 2, because it's still good. It's still good.
Dude, I can't believe. I mean, that was as bad as talking about the Falcons losing to Carolina in the NFL 30-0. I couldn't believe Cal got beat 34-0 in that game. Yeah. Bounced back last week and beat Boston College. They'll beat Duke at home +3.
All right, so you got Cal -3,
+3. They're gonna win that game outright against Duke.
Nice. That's a Saturday night. Just for shits and giggles, how much does Penn State beat UCLA this weekend?
At least by 30.
All right.
What do you think, Jason? I mean, it's 25.5 the spread, right? 24.5.
Yeah, I think they're trying to prove a point. They came up to that loss. Yeah, I think Penn State covers that.
I can't. I backed UCLA last week, Rome. I can't do it again.
Aaron, I want you to know about a bonus terrible game to look at of two legendary coaches at 9 a.m. 1-3 Clemson versus 2-2 North Carolina.
Oh, that's actually kind of good.
I don't know. You know,
Who do you like? Who do you like in that side?
I'm going to be honest. Like, I think the spread's at like 14.5 right now for Clemson. That seems way too high for the Clemson team that I've seen play so far. Even with how bad the Belichick defense has been in two different games that they lost this year. I think it was underreported that Chapel Bill got 2 wins out of during those couple of weeks against like a bad Richmond team or something else after that. But I don't know, man. It feels like old Bill can cover the spread here in this one.
You know, I'm going to take Rome's line here. That's a stay away from me. I'm not even touching that one. You know, these are just two bad football teams. It definitely doesn't make the watch list, but I mean, yeah, Clemson, they've kind of fallen apart here. But Rome, you're looking for another game here to keep an eye on. I was going to add it to the games to watch. It looks like it kicks off. It's a 9 a.m. game. Baylor at home against Kansas State. Kansas State got off to a terrible start after losing in Ireland. It seems like everybody that goes to Ireland and loses has a terrible season. Went into a bye week, rebounded last week against Central Florida. Your boy, was it Scott Frost over there? So I'd like Kansas State to cover the 6.5 against Baylor and win outright at Baylor. That's a bonus game for people.
Okay.
If they're looking for us, so two bonus games, 2 dogs, Cal +3, Kansas State +6.5. I like both dogs to win outright as well. And I would lean towards Jason taking North Carolina +14 if I had it there. I mean, I don't know.
I'm just throwing it out there. It just seemed like
North
a compelling.
Carolina's so damn terrible, though.
It just seemed like a compelling bad football game at 9 a.m. on a Saturday. You flip the TV on, and we're going to be talking about these head coaches who just got programs that are going nowhere.
What game do we have good that's kicking off at 9 a.m.? Oh, Cincinnati, Iowa State. So that's the one I'll be watching since it's on the list.
I'm just looking at all the games now. I'm seeing what Wisconsin visits Michigan and trying to see who Nebraska faces. Michigan State. It's a weird weekend.
A little tough to compete with last weekend when you talk about the caliber of, big time top 25 matchups that were at last weekend. So a little bit of a letdown, I think, this weekend versus last week.
Yeah.
I think as far as marquee teams, yeah, but I think we have some good games here like we talked about. I mean, Florida, Texas, I don't know how good it's going to be. It's compelling. I think Florida State and Miami is going to be really good. And you guys both think, and I think it's going to be a good game. Vanderbilt, Alabama is going to be a really intriguing game. Vanderbilt, 5-0 going in this game?
Yeah, I just don't know how good Alabama's defense is. I haven't watched the games that closely.
They just had a defensive player get hurt, too. I think he's out for the year.
Because Pavia and his wide receivers, they're just clicking on all cylinders right now. They just got a good flow. This is going to be like the last hurrah with this current group before they see some turnover. So,
yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm curious to see how they do on the road here at Alabama. I mean, I know they won at South Carolina. That quarterback, like I said, Sellers got knocked out early in that game of a concussion. Alabama's got a lot to prove. I mean, it's not every year of ever has Alabama ever had to get up for Vanderbilt, but they got to now. I mean, if they lose back-to-back games against Vanderbilt, I don't care what they did against Georgia. All that mojo is gone.
I'm taking Vandy with the points for this week, though.
I'm taking Alabama, but I'm going to low-key. I want Vanderbilt to win outright, so I would gladly take a loss there.
This guy. You definitely do bets like that all the time. It just blows my mind.
Just wishing ill will upon Kalen DeBoer and the poor people that are to come after him. And
I liked Kalen DeBoer, man, but just Alabama's just not a good fit for him. But he can coach. He's a good coach.
No, yeah, it's just not a good fit. Yeah. All right.
Maybe. Well, I'll say this. You guys dismissed the Lane Kiffin there, but Kellen DeBoer to Penn State makes a ton of sense because he can win big games, unlike James Franklin. So
he feels like a better Penn State guy. Yeah,
he does. He does.
Any last comments? Beautiful. All right, we recapped college football week 5 and got Aaron's college football games of the week. We are going to post this out on the socials. We haven't done your record on the socials, but we've been kind of like talking about in the descriptions. But we'll get those games of the week. I'm trying to figure out how to line it up so we can get like the your bets on the same page. Just haven't found like a.
So the record, Roman, if you want to write it down, updated record for games of the week plus bonus, whatever you want to call it. 35 wins, 26 losses, 2 pushes.
Nice. You're counting your bonus coverage?
Well, we release it. It's on the audio, man.
Nice.
We don't hide from what's on the audio here.
All right, cool. Well, also congrats on you taking first place in the Against the Spread contest. You're now the leader, the season leader, and you tied Jason's best week mark with his week 1.
We're talking NFL
record.
though, right? NFL?
Yeah, NFL, yeah. So
we had Sniper West up against it, man. He came in, I think he only won 6 games. He only had a 6 winner.
6-9. He joined the club.
Yeah.
Everyone's had the 6-9 group.
It's tough when you make him choose every game,
But
you could be picky.
He was 4 out of 6 on his over under side picks, I think.
Yeah, I think the prop stuff was very good where he was at.
It was 5 out of 7 actually, yeah.
Okay. It was good.
Pretty good stuff. His misses were like pretty big misses.
Roman, we'll get into the NFL coverage tomorrow, but I started out 0-4. I don't know what you guys were, but I was like, damn, I'm about to, crap the bed again. And then I pulled the Jason. The afternoon games showed up and delivered for me.
You were hot. Yeah, you were 0-4. Rome was the early leader. He was 2-2 in those first ones. I had
2-2 and 6-3 in the morning games. I was doing pretty well.
Yeah, but Rome did the reverse of you, and just the afternoon went there. I never took off the ground. Yeah, you took all my momentum in the afternoon, and I kind of just languished, below 500 for most of the afternoon.
Yeah, after the first 3 weeks, we talked about getting into the film room, studying and prepping and being ready for week 4. I thought we did a pretty decent job week 4.
The Ravens lost. Okay, cool. I'm willing to take that. Packers divisional game. I'm okay with that. I did not feel good about the Jets though. Like the closer we got to that game, and then once we got up to the Bengals Broncos, I didn't want to pick that one anymore. I wish I had the Broncos on that one.
Well, you guys were dogging Bo Nix. I made the call. Told him,
I wish I started him, dude. I wish I started him. He had a great game.
I started him.
What 328 passing?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he had like 20 something points in fantasy. I still beat Eli. He was trying to get Janty out of me, and I would have got my ass kicked out. I gave it to him. So,
did you make that other deal swap we talked about, or did he not bite on it?
So I tried proposing like a 3-for-1 trade. I tried asking for the 2 wide receivers and Judkins, but I guess I have to like drop some players from my roster to.
Yeah. That's you just can't stock guys on your roster, and
Follow us on Facebook, like and subscribe on YouTube, and please share. Give us a review. We are looking for more reviews on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. We will catch you next time. This is Source from the Sofa. We are out.